consent agenda consists of the discussion, consideration, and approval of the following items. A, minutes of the September 14th, 2015 regular board meeting. B, financial reports, 1, activity accounts, 2, treasurer's report. C, encumbrances and changes as follows. 1, general fund, fiscal year 16, number 1,098 through 1,475, and number 50,003 through 50,349. 2, child nutrition fund, fiscal year 16, number 23 through 28, and number 50,000. D, fundraisers. E, resignations. F, contract with 1, Seminole State College, the Oiler Park baseball field.
I have some questions about the contract with Seminole State College. Is it going back and looking at the past several years that we've done this agreement? There's always been the user fee. It was $3,000 in 2012, 2013, and then 2014. I believe it went up to $3,500. But some years there's been the one-time fee of $10,000 for rental facility upgrades. In some years there haven't. And going back and looking at the encumbrance registers on, for instance, in 2012, we paid a total of $13,000, and then I couldn't find 2014, but that doesn't mean it wasn't in there. I just going back, I just couldn't find it. But last year there was a $3,500 user fee and then $10,000 for rental facility upgrades. And I couldn't find the $10,000 on the encumbrance register. But that $10,000 fee is in this year's agreement as well. Is this just a copy of last year's, or is that part of this year's agreement?
Well, as far as I know, this is the same contract we had last year. Just change the dates on it, but it's my understanding that that's the way through this year. As far as an encumbrance, I'm not sure it'll be encumbered until it's been approved.
Right, I understand that, but we could, like, for instance, last year, or I'm sorry, in 2013, I never saw it on the encumbrance register. And last year, there was only a $3,000 encumbrance, or $3,500 encumbrance. There was never a $10,000 encumbrance. So I don't know.
I just got this from them on Monday, but I think that's when they redid the restrooms out there, that we paid $10,000. And it could be that we're supposed to take it off of this one and that they didn't do it.
And that's what I think has probably happened, because even one of the years we approved that in there more recently, we didn't pay that. We just paid the $3,500. So
I can check with them.
We could table that, or we could just approve it without number 5 in there, and that way it gets it approved. And if they like that without number 5 in there, at least it's been taken care of. And if they need that in there, we could always have it brought back to them.
I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve 3A through 3E of the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Kay Levy,
Yes.
Zach Cadenhead,
Yes.
Amy Cole Closure,
Yes.
Blaine Willis,
Yes.
Nikki Upton.
Yes.
And then on 3F, I would make a motion that we amend the contract to eliminate the contract between Seminole State College and Seminole High School for the use of facilities, amending it to eliminate paragraph 5.
So I have a problem with number 7 as well, and I don't understand what the meaning of that is. This sounds like it's a line item to limit the ability for us to play summer league baseball. This contract does not guarantee availability of the facility for summer participation beyond the normal high school regular season schedule. I don't know why you even put that in there, other than to. I know that we've had very few games that we're able to play on that field. We don't have any home games to speak of, whether it's in the spring or in the summer. If we're going to pay them $13,000, we should play lots of games there. I'm not sure. I don't understand why they put that in there. I mean, I don't think we were overutilizing their facility in the past. And they're trying to limit our ability to have summer tournaments, maybe? I don't understand.
Mickey, the only way that I understand it is the fact that, as far as home games and things, that we pretty much have to schedule around their schedule, because their schedule is first. And then if it's fields available when they're not playing, then that's when we have the fields available to us then. That's
So,
what I understand.
the city of Seminole owns that field, correct?
I think the college, this is a contract with the college.
They sublet it from the city, right?
I don't
We're
know.
subletting from them, I thought. I can't say.
Yeah, either Seminole State owns it or they own the right to exclusive access of it.
Can we table this, and can you find out
Sure.
what the ownership is and what the intent of this is?
Okay.
I want to have lots of home games. If it means paying $13,000 to do it, then that's great. If it means we're not going to have hardly any home games and be able to play at home, then we shouldn't pay very much.
Okay.
We need to at least clarify the $10,000 for
Okay.
sure. So.
Do we have to pay that every year, or is that just for special things? And if it's for something special, then write it into the contract.
Okay.
Upgrade of restroom facilities or something like that. We should pay our fair share. It's a nice field. It's nice to have it out there, but let's use it.
Okay.
Well, I think, like Mr. Wells said, we have to schedule around the college's schedule. And until we provide our own facilities for our baseball program, we don't have much choice, so we have to work around that. It's not always ideal, because I was looking at the schedule from last year, and we had one regular season home game. We had a couple of tournaments, but all of our regular season games except one were away. But until, it's our field for now, so we don't have a choice. I'll second Ms. Collier's motion.
Can I ask you a question about your
You
motion?
certainly may.
You had said paragraph 5, would that be item 5 and paragraph 4?
It would be,
Or
well,
do you
it would
call
just
that-
be item.
The item number
paragraph.
5, okay.
Yes, item 5.
Okay.
On the
Maybe I
contract.
misunderstood.
On the contract.
Right.
And it's my understanding that it's not likely to be a problem to them. And if it is, and that's not acceptable to them, well, then they'll bring it back to this board and they'll have to decide.
Okay.
I just would hate for us to, in fact, if Mr. Weldon might be able to tell us, would this affect any of our players and what's going on right now if we were to table this for a month?
No,
That's,
when baseball season, they won't start anything, generally they start after the first of the year, as far as getting the arms under them and shape and that type of thing, so I don't think it's, the only thing that has to be done tonight, but we need to take care of this before the end of, either this month or next month probably.
December.
motion in the second, and I'll maintain that.
Sure, let's leave the motion in a second on the table.
Roll call, please.
Kate Levy,
Yes.
Jack Cadenhead,
Yes.
Amy Cole Closure,
Yes.
Claudia Willis.
Yes.
Mickey Upton.
Yes.
Okay, item number 4, introduction of guests and public discussion by those who requested audience. Mr. Jack Tinsley.
This will be real short. As you know, when we had homecoming weekend, the alumni asked if we could open the high school, and we did, and all they wanted to do was tell you thank you, Mr. Weller, for allowing that. And we had about 30, maybe 40 different pairs come in and tour the old high school, and and so they said, well, make sure you tell everybody thank you for that incident, and allowing us to be in there. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you for taking it.
Oh, no problem.
Okay. Larry.
Short and sweet.
My coach Jack.
Thank the board for letting me discuss some things tonight with you. Those that doesn't know me, my name's Larry Minahan. I'm past president of the Seminole High School Alumni Association. That association was formed in 2004, and I've been a player in it ever since. We just passed last Wednesday the torch to a younger group of people. Brett Butner is now our new president, and I think he is going to do a super job. He seems like he's very enthusiastic, and I'll be working with him for a little while till he gets his feet on the ground. We've already voted for 2 projects for next year. Jack Haydenhead has agreed to be the committee chairman on the monument for fallen soldiers since World War I. Hopefully, we can put that on the football field down underneath the flag. The second one is flags for the gym. If you go to all the smaller schools, you'll see 50 or 60 flags hanging in their gym that describe what accomplishments they've had through the years. And we've had an estimate at one time it was going to be about $8,000. So hopefully we'll get that done. Also, I want to thank Mr. and Mrs. Weldon, Jack, and Claudia Willis for attending our Hall of Fame induction ceremony. That's the first time invitations have been sent out that we had board members attend. The main reason I wanted to address the board tonight is at our last board meeting, I heard nothing except what a great job Bill Wilden was doing. And and I found it interesting that after all the accolades that was given to Bill, that we decided that we was going to go hunt for another superintendent. After that meeting, I talked to several teachers and several business people around town, and I could not find one negative remark made about Bill except what a great job everybody thinks he's done moving to school and working closely with everyone. I'd like to read some of them. One of them is not real good for the hearer, but I want to tell you some of the comments that I've heard from both business people and teachers. He is more than qualified to be our superintendent. He's had more than 40 years' experience in public education. He already knows the current building status, which put him ahead of whoever else is hired as superintendent. Bill is certainly dedicated and has the leadership skills to make Seminole Public School a better place to educate our young people. He has had experience and has been successful in bond elections and construction of school facilities. This one here is, I want to say it, and I wish that I hadn't heard it. It says one or more of the school board members has friends that they want to interview and hire. Lastly, I had an opportunity to talk to Bill after the school board meeting and asked him if he would be willing to stay with us until the new school was built. His comment was, he said he loves Seminole and Seminole High School, and said if he was offered, he would stay in a heartbeat. And the teacher has already told me that he's turned down 2 different jobs to stay with. So I hope that the school board can get together and be united, from especially before we go forward again for a new school. If we got a split school board, it's never gonna happen. I think this would be a great time to start, unite, and let's see if we can get Bill rehired. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lee.
Regina, can you go from this side to this side first? Regina, is it grass?
Yes, it's grass.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Betty Fox, and she is Regina.
Okay, Betty and,
Thank you, Mr. Ward, it's an honor to be in front of you. Betty and I represent Gateway to Recovery and Prevention, which is that Seminole County was designated a county for healthy living. So we actually got a tobacco settlement endowment trust to work with the schools, the businesses, the communities here in Seminole County. So what we come to you today is that we want to tell you guys about Certified Healthy Oklahoma, which is, the deadline is November 1st. What it does, it puts Seminole High School, Seminole Middle School, Seminole Early Development into a program to say, hey, we know Seminole schools are healthy. As a result, you can get grant money associated with that. WOCA got certified a couple of years ago, and we're looking at, it's based on population, your grant funding, but we're looking at around the realm of $15,000 or even more. So it's really up to Seminole schools. So if there's any questions, Betty, did I cover everything that we were
I think
supposed to?
so. I think so. We just want you to know that we are on Main Street now. We have an office on Main Street, and so we are working with our schools and our cities and our businesses in Seminole County. So we are available, and we have our business cards. Please feel free to call us. And we're the conduit, so to speak, for Certified Healthy. We can help you, get you to the right sources. But with that kind of grant money and the needs that Seminole schools have, we just think it's an opportune time for you, and like to make ourselves available if possible to help in any way. Okay? All right.
Thank you.
item number 5, administrative reports.
Thank you. I have a presentation I'd like to make first. Joanne, you want to come forward, please? Todd, where you want this? Right here? That's good? This is a certificate in our work for you. It's the National Academy of Future Scientists and Technologists Award, the Award of Excellence. The Science Advisory Board of the National Academy of Future Scientists and Technologists confers honor and distinction upon Ms. Joanna Tiger for an outstanding performance academically, leadership potential, and dedication to serving humanity through science, technology, engineering, or math. The Congress of Future Science and Technology Leaders 2015. Now this was presented in June. Would anybody want to recognize her for her accomplishments, and congratulations.
Get up real quick. I know she had to leave. One more.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Since I'm standing, I'm going to go ahead and stay put. First thing, I wrote this on top of mine because we just got this information recently. But we got our report cards now. Let me stipulate, this has not met with state board approval yet. It's just been released this afternoon. But as you'll see, we've made significant progress. I say we, our teachers, our students, the faculty have made great strides and great improvements. And we've all heard about the A through F report cards. So let me read to you just a little bit as far as what is taking place. And I checked test scores before I ever considered coming to them. And I can promise you, they weren't real encouraging. But last year, Wilson Elementary, they had a 66D grade. This year they have an 83B. Last year Northwood had a 72 C minus average, and this year they have a 74 C without the minus. The middle school last year had a 65 D. This year they have a 73 C. Seminole High School, last year they had a 65 D. This year they have an 83 B. Tremendous strides that they've made improvements on, and I'm just tickled to death to see their accomplishments. As far as my part of this, I continue to work with Enviro, with high school staff, and I'll visit some of you about this. We have a sound situation, obviously at the high school, that needs addressing. Enviro Systems has actually, I talked to Paul one day after one of the Rotary Alliance Club meeting, and he asked me about the intruder, and I told him we were having some sound issues. I think I told you about this at the last meeting. Well, since then, they've had their engineers up and they've set a budget. They're going to try to help us to improve the quality of sound and maybe keep the sound from traveling from classroom to classroom as much. So we're excited about their help there. Accreditation reports are due this week. We got today that there's a glitch at the State Department, so they've extended that from the 15th to the 20th of next week, of October, which is next week. Carl Perkins, we completed that application finally with the help of Kayla, and that's funding for our ag and family consumer science programs. We've met with OG&E on several occasions. In fact, they had a forum out at the college a couple of weeks ago when we went out there and attended that. There's a lot of schools that are involved in energy audits. We first got involved in this. They contacted me about the possibility of putting in smart meters. Smart meters would basically affect our summer usage in our buildings, in our facilities. The estimated savings just by putting in the smart meters would be $22,000 for that 3-month span of time. Since then, we've talked to them about doing an energy audit. They're in the process of doing that audit now for additional savings in our utility bills there. The last thing is they have a retrofit program. It's actually kind of a scholarship program where they come in and where most of the lights we have now are called T10s. We'll replace those with T8s. Now, I said it's a scholarship. There's a matching part of this. They would pay 80% of that, and we'd have to pick up the 20%. But there's a tremendous amount of savings when you go from the old traditional fluorescent lights to a T8. So anyway, that's something that's kind of in the works right now. We haven't finalized anything. We haven't got the audit completed. But anyway, that's kind of what's in the works there. In addition to that, they have a program where they'll come in and replace all of the thermostats throughout the whole campus, all the campuses. These are pre-programmed thermostats that will bring us additional savings from the standpoint that they're programmed to go off at a certain time of the day. Now, the question is, teachers, if they're in the building later, they can override that. Within a certain period of time, it'll go ahead and kick off too. So that there's a tremendous amount of savings, I think, that's available. Those thermostats are free. So tying that in with the fact that our old system that we had, where everything was computerized, it's gone by the wayside. It's gone to the happy hunting ground. It's shot. So we were in, Ed and them spent one Friday evening up here just at the middle school, rewiring everything around that. So the whole system is gone. It's fried. Continue to work on grants for FEMA for safe rooms. That project is getting closer and closer to being complete as far as the application. The approval will come after that. Work with architects. Nearly every architect we contacted has been by my office or they've been on campus looking to see what's available out there. Now, one thing I need from you, and we talked about this last time, because they all want to know, what does the board want to know? What do they want? Because most of them have come in with ideas as far as an idea on a renovation, and if not a renovation, then they have ideas as far as a new facility. So if there's something that you want to be addressed during that meeting that we haven't discussed, any questions that you might have. I need to get those to those so they'll be prepared to answer them and we can get our questions answered. So once again, if you'll help me with that, well, that will be greatly appreciated. Next week, we'll be attending OSSBA has a regional meeting in Drumright. Board members will be attending that with me. So anyway, that's kind of the scope of everything that we've gone through in the last month. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you might have in these issues. One last thing, and Larry, I already had something in the works, but you know, I've been asked several times, Bill, are you interested? And I've made a comment to everybody that I'm definitely interested in staying at Seminole. I don't know, I guess retirement kind of rejuvenated me, because I look forward to coming to work every day. I'm going to give you guys each one of you take one of those. But I have a good time. I enjoy the people I work with. We've got a great staff to work with, great community, a lot of positive attitudes in the community, and I just like to stay around and see this thing through. And somebody asked me, said, how much longer do you think you want to work? I said, well, I don't know. Right now, the way I feel, I could probably work 8 or 10 more years. So anyway, that's the gist of it, and again, thank you. I'm not going to stay up with you.
So you were going to give the principal's report?
Yes, unfortunately, or fortunately, we're having teacher-parent conferences today, so the principals asked me where do we need to be. I said, you need to be in your building with your parents and your teachers. So I've given you a breakdown. Each one of you have a copy of this from the high school. So I'll kind of hit the high spots of this. Gear Up, and we saw this in the paper a couple of weeks ago. Gear Up has donated 3 smart boards with stands, which makes them portable, and 3 computers to the high school for their usage. These devices will actually assist us in some type of online classes through the college. A young man, Daniel Bean, has won the 66 conference cross-country meet at Prague. He also, in the course of that, he set a new school record for the 5K. So congratulations to him. Our high school softball girls won district last week. Unfortunately, they got beat out last week at Tecumseh. Academic letter jackets, those recipients were given out last Thursday at the forum. Some of you people were there, but just to mention their name, you've got Adam Choke, Darby Cox, Mariah Dunnigan, Samantha Earls, Corey Parsons, Keely Reed, Hannah Shoemake, Colby Willis, Julian Zarin, and J.C. James. And then we've made the presentation to, in fact she just left, but the young lady that we presented the award to tonight. Great things. I'm sure from Seminole, Oklahoma to Boston, Massachusetts was quite a treat for her. In the middle school, and all of the NWEA testing has been done and completed. 8th graders will take the Explore test. Ms. Cummings will be going over those results during their science classes. The Explore test is actually, it's kind of it's an indicator of what these students will be able to do on the ACT test. And then also it's an interest inventory to kind of give them some ideas of what they might be interested in. Results of those tests, obviously right now the book fair is going on to middle school. It kind of makes its round. It was at Wilson a couple of weeks ago, and it was at Northwood last week, and so it's here this week. Thursday night, if you're here, try to make every effort to make the ball game. Chorus class will be singing the national anthem in the football game. That's a great thing to get our kids involved in that. October the 21st, the band regionals in McAllister. 22nd is Picture Day. 27th is the Seminole Independent Learning Opportunities. Kids will be touring Gordon Cooper Technology Center. And on November the 4th, the 8th grade tours Gordon Cooper Technology Center. Middle school cross country has been undefeated in each of their meets at Kellyville, Seminole, Henrietta, Holdenville, and also at the conference in Prague. Congratulations to our students of the month. Rebecca Cho and Toby Renfro, 7th grade, 8th grade, is, here we go. Fatima Vega and Zapata Wilkins. The STEM program for the 2015 Chief in Robotics, and if you haven't been to some of these robotics meets, you need to go by and watch these kids. It's amazing the things that they can make a robot do, from picking up something to shooting a basket and scoring a goal and those things. But anyway, those things, they meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3:10 to 5 o'clock. They're preparing for a regional tournament. It'll be held in November at the Gordon Cooper Technology Center. This year's theme for that is Trash Trek. They have obstacle courses they have to go through, and there's certain maneuvers that have to be made for them to be successful there. Those teams are comprised of 7th and 8th grade students together. Northwood. October is Red Ribbon Week, fire prevention and bully prevention activities. Miss Cossey, the Northwood counselor, she's got lots of activities scheduled for the week of October 26th through the 30th. Daily announcements will include tips to fight bullying. These students will also participate in a poster contest, and the theme for this year is Superheroes Don't Bully. Miss Doodle's class won the attendance award for this last month. Their attendance was 98.12%, which is great. That's for the months of August and September. Of course, when they win that, then they get treated, and they enjoyed having lunch at the SNL Diner with Miss Sneak. 6th grade basketball practice begin October the 5th, 4th grade level. They're learning about electricity. The workshop was hosted by OG&E. OG&E has really been making themselves available for all of our people in our school. We had several people that did attend the encyclopedia this past week, and I think that's K through 12. We had counselors and librarians that attended that. At Wilson, Ron McDonald visited with the Wilson students on October 1st during the visit. He talked to them about friendship and bullying. Bullying is a big thing in schools nowadays. It's really something that we try to stress. Ron actively engages students in role-playing games designated to teach them students about the qualities of being good friends. They also learn about characteristics of bullying. He encourages students to feel free, although being bullied, to talk about to their teachers or school counselors or principals. He also pointed out the fact that in most situations, a bully doesn't show up when authority figures are around. And that's something that's pretty prevalent. On October the 5th, the Chamber of Commerce and the Rotary presented dictionaries. I happened to be a part of that the other day. It's quite an honor. Those kids were tickled to death to get those dictionaries. They're there for their own good. They can keep them permanently as long as they'll last. Now, they're paperbacks, so I'm not sure how long they'll last. But if they can make it a year or two with them, well, that'll be great. Once again, they finished up their testing. They're very excited about the progress that they made on their A through F report cards, which they actually had the highest degree of, or highest percentage of increase of all the schools in the high school. November the 6th, the 3rd grade, they'll be participating in Veterans Day program at 10 a.m. and they would like to encourage everybody to come and attend so that they can honor those people that have made the sacrifices for our freedoms. BLS students, they've had Grandfather's Day lunch on the grounds. Had special guests, work with Seminole schools to adopt children. Those students whose grandparents couldn't attend, we made sure that every child had someone that would represent them. Just good to see the grandparents showing up. It's another effort that they've made to try to get our grandparents and our parents into our schools for something that's positive and not always negative. So they're to be commended for that. They've taken the trip to the fire department. The students got to meet the firehouse dog and learn about safety and fire tips, fire safety, and they even got to step on the fire truck and spray the hose. That's a big trick for those kids. The garden hose a lot of times is a big trick for those that age, so I can imagine what a fire hose will do. Especially they want to give their thanks and gratitude to the Seminole Fire Department. They had 242 students, given an official a badge that they're very, very proud of. Native American dancers this week led the students in a snake dance. They sang and danced and talked in the words in the native language. Students who are reading intervention, who are in reading intervention are making fast progress. It's remarkable to see how quickly in a year it makes such a difference in the outcome. Once again, this is something that they've done. I think you're going to see, I've been down there and watched those people deal with those youngsters with their reading. It's tremendous the things that those kids are able to do at such a young age. You know, used to, we didn't start teaching reading until they got in the first grade. Now, when they get in the first grade, they can just, they're very, very fluent readers. This is the second year for the curriculum in pre-K and kindergarten. The students have grown, have been remarkable with a more rigorous curriculum. Teachers have been busy to make sure report cards are aligned with our curriculum and that the parents have detailed information on expectations of their students. That's pretty much all of as far as the building level principals. And then Ed is not back in town yet. I imagine he may be a little like you. He has been on the jet, but he's been on the long haul. His daughter got married over the weekend in Fort Aransas, wasn't it? Texas. So he's making it back today, and hopefully he'll be here tomorrow. But just a brief report what they've accomplished. We had some damage at Northwood on the air conditioners units back during one of our storms. We've recovered all the money except for the $1,000 deductible that had taken place there. This is something that's attributed to school dude, and it's something that the teachers fill out, or the faculty, or whoever has a need there for as far as maintenance. But they've had 818 maintenance requests, and they have 802 of those that have been completed. All the buildings are in good shape, and they will continue to work on projects with the principals to upgrade each of the buildings. We've implemented a new radio communication for our schools. Basically, every principal has access to a radio that ties in with my office and also with our school security or school resource officer. In case there's an emergency, we've had to use it a couple of times. It's come in very, very handy. Busing, just a little information about the trips they're making per day with the buses. We've got 9 bus routes that run twice a day. We transport 3 times with a handicap bus. Some of those students go home at lunch, and we run those back and forth. The high school, middle school buses have 28 trips a day. This doesn't include any athletic trips at all. So anyway, just he wants to commend the drivers for doing a great job, and could not get along without all the drivers. And if you know anybody that's interested in driving a bus, we can still use them. I think if you go to any school in the state, they'll tell you exactly the same thing. So anyway, any questions? Be glad to answer them.
Always nice to hear those reports. Okay, item that puts us on item number 8. Consider and take necessary action to approve the 2015-2016 estimate of needs.
I'll go ahead and make the motion that we approve the 2015-16 estimate of needs. Make the motion.
Is there any discussion or second?
Yes.
Yes, discussion on this.
Yeah, there'll be discussions.
Well, I'll go ahead and second it. Then we can open that up for discussion.
So this is a presentation by you, Bill. Is that how this works?
Yeah, this is actually the next item on the agenda that we have to make presentation and public hearing as far as kind of what's going on with our funding.
So
Are we in the next item?
that's item 9.
Yeah.
Item
Well,
8,
that's the-
the estimate of needs. So is this similar to what it was the previous year? Current expense of $13,357, $13 million.
Well, actually, it's a little less, and on that,
Okay.
when I make the budget presentation, I will just talk about that.
Okay.
There's about 3 different areas there that are critical.
Okay.
So questions probably pertain more to the presentation possibly.
Maybe.
Do you want to do the presentation first and then come back to that?
Yeah, should we approve it before we see it?
Well, there are two different items. The estimate of needs is just something we have to do
Right.
under
Right.
statute.
Right. It's annual, yeah.
So we can talk about it in the budget, that's fine.
Is that okay? All right. Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. Roll call please.
Kay Levy.
Yes.
Zach Cadenhead.
Yes.
Amy Cole Frazier.
Yes.
Claudia Willis.
Yes.
Mickey Upton.
Yes.
Okay, item number 9, presentation and public hearing on fiscal year 2015-2016 operational budget for general fund, building fund, and child nutrition fund.
For those of you sitting in the back, if you want to look at this, it's on the overhead here. Basically, red is not a good indicator on reports. If you look at our present, as far as for last year, our budget was $14,941,931.42. This year, the budget is $13,357,638.69, with a difference of actually $1,584,292.60. Okay, where does that come from? Basically, there's 3 different things that we need to consider. Number 1 is our fund balance. Well, the fund balance has diminished because last year, at this time, you had a fund balance or a carryover, whichever way you want to talk about it, of $3,821,749.89. This year, the fund balance was $2,724,349.72, which gives you a difference of $1,097,400.17. That had to be spent because if you carry over too much money in your general fund, then you get penalized. So that's one of the reasons. Now, of course, that's something that I wasn't involved in. I don't know where it all was spent from. I know there's some things that we did as far as leasing buses and that type of thing, but there's a significant difference there. The next item down is the state aid. Last year, we received $6,861,971.76. This year, our state aid allocation was $6,527,686.16. So we've already taken a hit, or a decrease in state aid of $334,285.60. Now, if you look at the red sentence in the middle of the page there, we were told last week to expect an additional 5% cut this year. So that means an additional $330,000 roughly. I can't give you the exact figures because I don't know yet. But if you take 5% of what our state aid allocation is, then you're going to get pretty close to, actually it's a little less than $330,000, but I rounded off to $330,000. Gross production is another thing that through the years we've tried to depend on gross production to fund nearly everything. Seminole being an oil producing county, that throughout the years, and some of you are involved in oil, and I was raised in the oil field. When it goes up, it's going to come down. Eventually it's going to come down. We just need to make sure that we have been smart enough with our money to make sure when it goes down that we don't take a major hit on it. So once again, with the decrease in your gross production, so if you'll just take those 3 figures that are in the red and you sum those up, you come up with about a $1.6 million funding deficit than what we had last year. Now, so well, what about the 1.5? Well, there's some things that have increased a little bit and some things that have decreased. Our ad valorem has gone up. When ad valorem goes up, then your county formula goes up. Those things, it's kind of a domino effect. Once again, but the state aid, gross production, are 2 of the sources of revenue that we receive. We really have no control over those. Now, what do we have control over? Basically is our local money through our ad valorem. Now, I put some bullet points at the bottom there. As far as reasons for a strong fund balance, those are listed there. This is stability for the school district, protects your instructional programs, it has your teachers. As far as protection, when the money starts to fall short, then we start going through a reduction in force. And folks, those are not happy times when you have to do a reduction in force, because you're talking about people's livelihoods there. And the last thing, and I don't know if Seminole will ever get in this category, but there's some school districts that haven't been frugal enough with their funds and taking care of it, that there's actually been lawsuits that have been levied back against the taxpayers of the district, and that's not anything positive there. Need to move that down, so. Let's see what's in there. Some factors to consider. We talked about, we basically have three sources of revenue. We have local, state, and federal. The local is basically the only thing that we have any control over. And one of the things I've got listed there, the first one under factors to consider in funding for public education, we have to know what the, I don't know how else to say this, the agenda that the legislature goes into it with every year. We seem to come out on the short end of the stick. Now, my problem with some of their agendas is, because I've told you, the only thing we have a lot of control over is our local money. Now they want to start dabbling with our local money, and they want to decrease the amount of ad valorem that we can produce. So, you know, if you have a chance to talk to them, you hear them talk about local control, well then leave our local money alone and let us be in charge of that. So they're not doing that. Tax cuts, I still don't understand it, and believe me, I don't like to pay taxes even on anybody else. But if you can't pay your bills with the money that you're receiving in revenue, then why do you want to give part of it back? And you're sure not going to be able to pay your bills. You don't know the legislation that's been passed in the last 20 years, that there's a sentence at the bottom of it that says, if funds are available. And so a lot of those things that get passed, I think, well, we got it done, and then you read the bottom line that says, if funds are available. And the funds aren't available. That's the bottom line. So these are just some things. Of course, gross production, we've already talked about that a little bit, and the national economy, we're all concerned about that. But the bottom line is, we have to be better stewards of our money, because right now we're in the downtime. If we're going to take another 5% cut, they used the rainy day fund last year at the state level. They took a lot of that money out. There's not anywhere else to go this year. Now, there's some things that are going around, the 1 cent sales tax. Are you for or against it? Well, and I this a paper about that. Sales tax is the only fair tax that there is, in my opinion. Now, everybody pays it. If you buy something, then you pay sales tax. Here's the problem. And I heard another deal, I think it was in Norman today. They're trying to pass a half-cent sales tax or whatever. So if these things keep multiplying and they keep getting larger and larger, the sales tax could be the thing that could be our demise over a period of time. So, but the 1 cent sales tax, I'm for it as long as you don't run it through the formula. Because if you run it through the formula, and I'm going to give you just a little bit of heads up here, if you run that money through the formula, the only people that are guaranteed the raises for teachers will be the school districts that are growing. If you're declining or you're staying put as far as your enrollment, the teachers won't get a guaranteed pay increase like everyone else is going to get. So it needs to be outside the formula. And the formula, I know you've been presenting the school funding formula before. It's very complicated. It's not going to change. That school funding formula will not change. It's too complicated. You can't just change one little item in it, because if you change one, it's a domino effect that affects everything else. So, anyway, that's kind of I tried to do this in a way that the public can understand it as far as where we are financially. Right now, financially, we're in good shape. How many years can we survive this? I don't know. Kind of depends on how much more funding cuts we get from the State Department. If we don't get any more cuts, we're gonna be in good shape. The ad valorem will continue to grow, gross production, you know how it goes. So hopefully we'll get back on track with that. We've got to make sure that during the good years, when gross production is good, we need to make sure that those expenditures that we make are just one-time deals. Don't get into something that's a recurring cost, because then you're asking for disaster. Any questions? From the board or Nikki, could I answer any questions? Some of them?
I think our employees have been very good historically, at least since I've been on the board, about understanding why a fund balance that is built up can't just step in and take care of salary problems as much as we wish that it could, that we have to protect that balance for situations like this, and not with recurring year after year expenses, but with, you know, one-time hit.
Well, and that's something, once again, you're exactly right, because, and I can't give you the exact percentage, but I would bet that we pay 80 to 85% of our budget is tied to salaries to some extent. So if you start giving out big raises, then it doesn't take very long to gobble up what carryover, what fund balance that you have left. So, but once again, our teachers have been very good about that. I know that they've been taken care of in the past when it could be taken care of. Facilities, working conditions, that type of things, they weigh in heavily with them. So I think with the strides that we're trying to make, that we're still in good shape.
And our support staff too,
Right.
really everyone.
Right, yeah, and I told our support staff at the very first meeting, every one of our, everybody's important to school. And if you don't believe that, let the janitor be gone for a day. And things start happening and they're not there to pick up the pieces. So everyone's extremely important in this facility, from the people that drive the buses, to our custodial staff, maintenance, all the way up to the seat I sit in. So, anyway.
So do you think that this next year, we need to be frugal in what we spend?
Yeah, I think we do. I think we need to be frugal. I think we need to take care of our needs. Just don't be, we're looking at ways that we can, I know there's been some things that have been purchased in the last several weeks that we could probably do a better job on as far as shopping around. You know, there's a consensus around the state that if you're on the state bid approval list, that you don't have to take bids. Well, no, you don't, but that doesn't mean that's the best price in town either. So I found it that generally I can find prices that will beat what's on the state list. And it's not very hard to do that. So we're looking at ways to do that, to save district money. Once again, we can't rely on the OG. I think the OG&E is going to be tremendous over a period of time. I think before, with all the improvements that we make over a period of time, I think we're looking at probably an annual savings of somewhere in $50,000 to $75,000 range, and that's pretty substantial for just on utility costs. So
there was a presentation, I didn't attend it, but it was about group purchasing.
right,
The state of Oklahoma had a
OSSBA has that policy.
group purchasing deal. I mean, I see a lot of things that are going to Lowe's and Staples and things like that. I don't know if that, being part of that group purchasing would lower some of our costs there.
Yeah, the group purchasing actually is when you got a group of schools that'll come together and they buy the same type of equipment or supplies, and they can buy them in bulk, and then we go pick them up and they're distributed that way. So yeah, that's I mean, we all know that if you buy in bulk, you can get it cheaper. Any other questions? Anybody in the audience?
Thank you for providing this information. Item 10, consider and take necessary action to approve fiscal year 2015 and 2016 operational budget for general fund, building fund, and child nutrition fund.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Kay Levy,
Yes?
Jack Cadenhead,
Yes.
and Nicole Kaiser,
Yes.
Claudia Lewis,
Yes.
Ricky Upton.
Yes.
Just a word, Don't leave until you signed all the documents that Kayla's got here for you. It takes a signature from everybody, okay?
That's right, it does, every year.
Right.
Let's see, items 11, consider and take necessary action to approve a resolution for the school district annual election on February 9th, 2016, for the purpose of election of a school board member, seat number 1.
I move we approve the resolution.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Kay Levy,
Yes?
Jack Cadenhead.
Yes.
Amy Cole Frazier,
Yes.
Claudia Willis.
Yes.
Nikki Upton.
Yes.
Item 12, consider and take necessary action to approve the Indian policies and procedures for fiscal year 2015-2016.
Basically, there's been no changes to this policy. It would be my recommendation that you approve the Indian policies and procedures for the 2015-16 school year.
I make a motion we follow the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the policy as presented.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Kay Levy,
Yes?
Jack Cadenhead.
Yes.
Amy Cole Frazier,
Yes.
Claudia Willis.
Yes.
Nikki Upton.
Yes.
Item 13, consider and take necessary action to approve the gifted education plan for fiscal year 2015-2016.
Okay. Basically, this plan hasn't changed either. There is some consideration with the early childhood learning students, but that has been taken, it's pretty much covered into this, but those are some identifiable students at this time too. But the plan is basically the same. This will be my recommendation to approve the gifted education plan for the fiscal year 2015-2016.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Kay Levy,
Yes?
Jack Cadenhead.
Yes.
Amy Cole Frazier.
Yes.
Claudia Willis.
Yes.
Nikki Upton.
Yes.
Item number 14, consider and take necessary action to determine who is to contact the OSSBA for consultation services in the search for a new superintendent for 2016-2017. I'm a little shocked to see that on the agenda because I've been in contact with OSSBA since June and has presented that information to the board. And it is on my agenda to take care of that this week because I've been out of town since yesterday. So I just returned, so if that is okay, that was the plan. So that is, it's the, I actually asked back in June how the line of communication should go between in situations where we're dealing with training sessions and so forth. And they said training sessions typically are set up by the superintendent, but of course the search for a superintendent would be the board president. So,
Right. Then I would make a motion that Kay Levy be our point of contact with the OSSBA for consultation services. As board president.
Second.
roll call, please.
Kay Levy,
Yes.
Jack Cadenhead.
Yes.
Amy Cole Frazier.
Yes.
Claudia Willis.
Yes.
Nikki Upton.
Yes.
Item 15, possible executive session to discuss the employment of those certified and/or non-certified personnel listed in agenda items 19 pursuant to 25 Oklahoma Statute, Section 307B1. Do we have any need? Okay, then let's skip down to item 19, consider and take necessary action to accept the superintendent's recommendation to employ the certified and non-certified personnel as listed below. A, Marcy Hinesley, BLS classroom assistant. B, Melissa Parsons, BLS secretary. C, Rhonda Davis, BLS classroom assistant. D, John Bristow, custodian.
I'll make a motion that we take the necessary action to accept the superintendent's recommendation to employ the certified and non-certified personnel as listed in item 19.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Kay Levy,
Yes?
Jack Cadenhead.
Yes.
Amy Cole Frazier.
Yes.
Claudia Willis.
Yes.
Nikki Upton.
Yes.
Item 20, new business. Do you have any? No? Okay. Item 21, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Kay Levy.
Yes.
Jack Cadenhead.
Yes.
Amy Cole Frazier.
Yes.
Claudia Willis.
Yes.
Nikki Upton.
Yes.